Bonjour peeps, hi. This is Neshi Wilcox. Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, October 28th, Sunday afternoon. What better way to spend a Sunday afternoon than to have a spiritual conversation, I say. It's fun, right? And we get to hang out with like-minded, like-hearted people for a little bit, and and I enjoy it. And that's one of the reasons why I do this daily live stream. And it's also because we get to do something that in practice a little bit, and do the application, and that is using our intuition, right? Always a good thing. And so every day, well, practically every day, I am connected with my spiritual team specifically for a card draw that is the energy that's most important for us to know for today, for our highest good, right? And that we can share with others. And so this morning, I wanted to let you know that we should share again what cards we're using, because they are really, I think, good cards. And it's a deck by Kyle Gray. It's called Angels and Ancestors Oracle Cards. Yeah, that's the deck we're using. And I really like it. Why? Because it has a very earth-based perspective is a good word. He does use some Native American information, some Celtic, some Viking, and others, and it's just really eclectic. And one of the things that Kyle says is that they're drawing on ancient information and bringing it into modern day so that we can use it, right? And that is so close to the vision and mission statement for Star Nations organization. And so, well, anyway, I found this deck that it literally just published this year in 2018 and released in September. And so I had to pre-order the deck, and I got it in September. We started using it toward the end of September. So, hey, Stephanie, it's in the chat. Thank you for joining. I almost dropped my phone. It wasn't an earthquake. I almost dropped my phone. And the reason why I have my phone in my hands is because I'm going to like and share the broadcast. And I would appreciate it if you would do the same thing. You can share it to your timeline, or you can share it just to a friend. You can share it to a group if you like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it to my timeline first, to let my friends know that I am live streaming. And it doesn't take long, especially when I do this quite often and I have the quick keys, right? And just asking them to please join me. There we go. We're going to post that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it over to Star Nation's Radio Network closed group and the Academy, both closed groups. Why? Well, the Radio Network group is where the most active community members kind of hang out for Star Nations. And the Academy, hey, we talk a lot about our tools, and I actually teach a free mini class in the Academy group. So I'm going to share it to the group and just let them know that I am live streaming. Whoops, right now, period. Please join me. There we go. There. And I just make sure I get it to the right groups here. And that's done. It's pretty simple, actually. I kind of see it as energy worker, light worker, civic duty. Because that way, those people who are searching for information or searching for their people, their peeps, right? Their spiritual peeps, they can find us so much easier rather than hunting and pecking through Facebook. And you know what that's like. It's a lot of information out there. And so if we can help them in any way, why not? Why not? Hey, Connie Waters in the house. And thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Connie, I really enjoyed your show last week. last Thursday morning, Spiritual Mysteries of Life. There was a couple of really good points that you made in that show, and I think the one that probably struck the the emotional card pretty well is when you talked about mothers and children. I could feel it, right? And how I related it to it was between my mom and I, and so it was one of those aha moments. So thank you very much for doing that and having that show here on Star Nations Radio Network. Mary Anderson Fry is in the house. Hello, Mary, and Rob Kendall and Mervyn Kelly. Yeah, good evening, Nellie. It's good to have you in the house. You know, I'm going to share something that I don't know. It's kind of strange. I usually bring up water or tea or something with me, coffee, sometimes even in the afternoon when we're doing the show. When I say that, grab your favorite beverage, and join us in the chat room for the spiritual conversation, I'm not kidding. I do. I grab one of my favorite beverages. And today, it's kind of weird. My mom drinks grape juice, dark grape juice, a small glass every day. And she says it helps her arthritis. And really, the compounds in grape juice, especially the dark grape juice, does help with inflammation, right? And she has noticed a marked difference since starting to drink it. And she's been doing this for maybe, 4 years, 3 years, something like that. And so we always have dark grape juice in the refrigerator. And so I was going to say, what should I take up with me? I didn't feel like coffee. I actually got plenty of rest yesterday and today, this morning. And so I was looking, I think, I'm going to make grape soda. It's like, because I don't drink pop. I don't drink soda pop. On a rare occasion, I might do that. And if I do, it's root beer. But anyway, so I took out the grape juice and I took out club soda and I made myself grape soda. I haven't had it in a long time. It's not quite as sweet as grape knee-high, but it's still good. It's still good. All I'm missing is the popcorn in the movie. Isn't that strange? I don't know why I shared that with you. I don't know. I know that there's a lot of people who are addicted to soda. Whether it's for the caffeine and or the sugar that's involved. Some people drink diet soda. All those chemicals. Anyway, so you can make your own soda if you want. There you go. Wasabi. That's Rob Kendall. I love your sense of humor. Rob, you always make me smile. And Elise Miller is here. Good afternoon, Elise Miller. So good to see you in the chat. It really is. I'm glad you're with us. Literally. I'm glad you're here. All right. So we liked and we shared, and I'm going to put my phone so I don't drop it again. I usually guys share with you the weather here in Toma, Wisconsin. It hasn't changed much since yesterday. It's still cold. I wouldn't say freezing cold, but it's like in the mid 40s. And there's a wind and it's kind of damp. It's rainy. And so it's cold out. It's one of those, right to your bones kind of cold because it's damp. And so I actually wore a fleece today. Usually I'm fairly warm, but today it was, we're going to wear something warmer. Nellie said, coffee is the key to life. I have to agree. It's one of my favorite beverages, not the favorite, but it's one of them. And I don't get all fancy with my coffee either. I don't, I remember one time we were in California. I was at a feng shui class, and we were there for, I think it was 2 weeks or something like that. And on the middle weekend, we went into Mendocino, and a bunch of us ended up at one of the cafes there, right, coffee house. And there must have been maybe 6 or 8 of us in there, and everybody's ordering their drink and kind of detailed, macchiatos with an extra shot of this, or And then one of the ladies was ordering a latte with soy, heated to a certain degree, and it was very intricate instructions for the barista, for our waiter actually. And I was the last one to put my order in, and I said, "You ready?" And it's going to be kind of a difficult one. And he takes this big deep breath in. He goes, "Okay, shoot. What do you want?" I said, "I want a regular cup of coffee and enough room for cream." And he stood there and stared at me. And he said, "That's it?" I said, "Yep, that's it. And if we could have some stevia instead of equal, that would be great. But, if you don't have it, that's okay too." Of course, mine was the simplest to get. So mine was the first one to come out. But he was so nice to me. It was so uncomplicated. All I wanted was a cup of joe with enough room for cream in it. And that was it. So I don't get very, very fancy with my coffee. Now, Paul, on the other hand, who doesn't drink coffee very often, he gets fancy with it. He likes to have the chocolate latte or the macchiato, or because it's sweet, right? Because it's sweet. Yep. And Elise says, only drink ginger ale once in a while. Yep. Yeah. See, and I don't even do ginger ale. I don't know. I just haven't done soda in a really, really long time. Yeah. Rob said, "I thought you drank tea on the side of the pond." And let me tell you, their black tea, it made as well be coffee, because it has as much caffeine. It can be, and pretty strong sometimes. That's why they add cream to it, I think. Elise says, "Tell your mom my arthritis is raging right on." I know, so is hers. I went in to deliver her afternoon tea and snack before I came up here, and I asked her how she was doing. She goes, "Oh, the same. She says, "It's just painful." Well, she's taken an extra pain pill for that, but yeah, she's right there with you, Elise. And Nellie is replying back to Rob, I, however, can drink more coffee than Americans." Oh no, we're gonna be in a who's gonna drink more caffeine than the next. Elise said, "Canceled my surgery till spring. Need to address other stuff first." I think that's a grand idea, Elise. I do. I think that's a smart decision. Okay, so how about this for the first card? Shapeshifter. Transformation and unveil your gifts. Transform and unveil your gifts. Look at that artwork. See if I can get it in there. Isn't that something? I took a long time with this card, just looking at it and how much is going on in this card. It's like, holy smokes. It's a very powerful card. Very powerful. And because you have the snake. I don't know if you can kind of see it. It's not quite as prominent as the wolf or the hawk. I think that's a hawk. It could be a golden eagle, I suppose. I think it's great. I like the way you can see the shifting going on here, right? I love it. With the full moon in the background. The orbs. See the orbs right through here? Let's see, got to go the other direction, right through here. And of course, you have, I think these are bigger orbs in the back too, I think. Oh, okay, so right at the top of his head, I don't know if you can see this, right at the top of his head is the head of the snake. This is the kind of picture that I would frame. I would order. In fact, I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out if the artwork is available as posters or as posters or pictures to be framed. Because can't you see this one hanging in the Academy, Star Nations Academy? I can. Love it. Love, love, love it. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. Shape-shifting. I would like to say that almost every indigenous culture, ancient, certain people who were their holy people, their medicine people, there were a handful, less than a handful, usually only one or two, that really knew how to travel that way. When I say travel, it's your spirit that's traveling. It's our, we are spiritual beings, right? And we reside in these physical bodies. Shapeshifters, they understand how this body is just a container for our spirit. And so our spirit can go from container to container if we wish, if we choose. And so many times, that's why you see especially in the movies, some of them actually get kind of close to, I think, what it could be like, is the metamorphosis into the animal, right? Sometimes it's actually stepping into that animal, depending on the culture, right, and the belief system. And so many times the medicine person or the holy person, they're literally shifting into one of their power animals. I'll say that again. Many times they're shifting into their power animals. Why? Is because they share this connection, this spiritual connection. And our power animals are teachers. They can teach us so much, right? And many times without even changing, going into the shape of the actual animal, or entering that animal's body, many times medicine people or holy people, when they're dancing, I almost said we, oh my goodness, dancing, when we're drumming and we're dancing to a certain beat, and we connect with one of our power animals, we can take on the characteristics of those power animals, and it's a way to connect to them. And why do we do that? It's just to pay them respect and to be together, right? And many times information or messages can be sent that way, but more often it's because we're learning about their characteristics. You know, when we think about, a lot of people carry bird medicine, that flight, right? With the hawk, the keen eyesight of the hawk. And so they're characteristics we take on. And it shows us how we can benefit from their medicine and how we move through our life in certain situations, not all situations, but certain ones, right? Oh, Elise says, my knuckles look like giant blisters. Ouch. Owie, owie. Stephanie says, just give me black coffee in a mug and I'm happy. I know, it doesn't have to be complicated, does it, Stephanie? It doesn't have to be. And Mary is here, Mary Summers. Good to have you in the house. Elise says, I still want a Star Nations fleece like yours. Good advertising. Yeah, we have to, I want to find somebody local here, hopefully, to do the embroidery. I just haven't gotten that far. Or maybe there's somebody in our community, our Star Nations community, who has the ability to do that kind of embroidery work on the machine, right? And maybe do that exchange, that energy exchange of money and product. I'll have to put that out there. I'll float that out there, Elise, and see what we find, okay? We'll see what happens. All right, so shapeshifter. Let's see what Kyle has to say about shape-shifting. It's about transform and unveil your gifts. Take your time and focus on developing your gifts and strengths. Take your time in developing your gifts and your strengths. He goes on to say that in native traditions, a shapeshifter is either an animal that has the capacity to change between species or a shaman who has the capacity to transform into an animal to go journeying. If there was a wild animal you are particularly drawn to or fascinated by, it's probably because you can transform into one in your meditation or journeying practice to go exploring in other worlds. When you shift into animal form, you can see the world through different eyes and tap into the animal's survival skills to help yourself through a particular situation. Yeah. When I first read that, there is a distinction. There is a distinction between doing that kind of journey work as that animal. Okay. Now this is getting kind of into a more kind of advanced topic, I think. As spiritual beings, we are pure energy. We're pure energy. We're like a bright light, literally, a bright light. We are that orb. Those orbs that you see in the background, we are that orb. And so when we travel, we don't necessarily have to transform into that power animal or that totem. We can just travel in our bubble as an orb. And in a way, we're still shifting. We're still shifting shape because we're no longer in our physical body. We're traveling as pure energy, as that orb. And so when you've seen them in pictures, orbs in pictures, those are beings. Now, not necessarily human beings traveling at light. Some of them are. Some of them are from other dimensions, other worlds. But those orbs have a spirit in them of one kind or another. All right. So did I just freak anybody out? Sorry about that. Rob, someone local. Local. No, someone local. Not local. Local. Stephanie says Maggie Wade does embroidery commercially. She does. Oh, good to know. Hi, Ann. Ann Kuhn just joined us. Good to see you in the house, Ann. All right, so we're talking about shape-shifting. This is the first card that came. Shape-shifter. Transform and unveil your gifts. And in this particular card, and I think in this particular message, it's about our gifts. It's about how we can even enhance our gifts, okay? So in my world, the gifts that I came in with, my power animals can enhance those gifts. For instance, one of my gifts is languages. That's not really a good one. No, they're saying it is. Okay, languages. It's easy for me to pick up a language. Maybe not be completely fluent, but know enough words to be able to understand what somebody is saying to me. Okay? So somewhat of a translator, if you will. So my power animals, one of my power animals, which is a wolf, the way they communicate, wolves can communicate across large distances in the way the howls and the sounds that they make. All right. And so the wolf can actually help me with my gift of languages. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if and when I would take on the medicine of the wolf, um, it's also helpful with my communication. I can speak wolf. Actually, I was howling with George the other day. It was the first time I think that he's actually heard a howl, and because he was cocking his ears back and forth, and he started to do that puppy howl. Yeah, it was kind of cute. Um, and so, Rob, it's fine, Rob. It was actually kind of funny. Hi, Cheryl. Good to have you here in the chat. And so when we take on the characteristics of our power animals, when we shape shift into them, it's not necessarily always going in taking their actual form and becoming them. It's actually taking on seeing the world through their perspective, and also using their gifts to enhance our own. I hope I'm explaining this well enough, you know. And so that, the message is to take your time and focus on developing your gifts and strengths. Your power animal can help you do that, is what I'm trying to say. It says when you shift into animal form, you can see the world through different eyes and tap into the animal's survival skills to help yourself through a particular situation, right? And so many of us have that bird energy too. And sometimes that bird medicine is about being able to see the situation from an elevated perspective, to see the bigger picture, right? To see the bigger picture. To see all the elements as much as you can, all the players, so to speak, in the situation that you're in. Yeah. And so you can actually merge with your power animal. Let's say it is a red-tailed hawk. You can merge with them and say, I need to see the situation from an elevated view. Help me to do that. Help me to do that. Okay. So Kyle goes on to say, you may have been through many challenges and lows, but now you're in a space of transformation. You are moving beyond your past challenges and honing your current strengths. There are opportunities for you to discover and rediscover the gifts and talents that you were born with and born to share. All of your past experiences have helped you to see how strong you really are. You are an amazing soul who can change and transform in ways that people least expect. You have many talents that you will share in your lifetime. You are guided to stay focused on the light, knowing that will guide you forward. When this card arrives, there's also an opportunity for you to tap into the power of your spirit animal. Note if you're seeing a particular animal regularly because its medicine is coming to you. All right, so we've been receiving information from the cards for weeks now about this shift and the change, manifesting a change in your life, right? And this past week, it has been all about that creation being right in your home, right in front of you, and that we were to use our gifts that we came in with to ground that manifestation to the earth plane. To the earth plane. That it's here right now, and it was up to us to do that. Our spiritual team can't do that for us. We have to do it. And then we talked about yesterday, I think it was, we were talking about how now that the what you created is right here, right now. Now what do you do with it? And the spirit was telling us that we needed to formulate a strategy or plan to make sure that we get to our goal, our intention, our intended goal with this creation, and to use our gifts along the way, right? And now we got this card about shape-shifting, and it's about honing our gifts, and that we have the opportunity right now I'm going to read that one sentence again. He says, you are moving beyond your past challenges and honing your current strengths. There are opportunities for you to discover and rediscover the gifts and talents that you were born with and born to share. Okay. And what came to me when I read that those two sentences this morning was that whatever that new creation of yours, whatever you manifested, it's in a vibrational field that has never been here on Earth before. Grandmother Earth is vibrating higher than ever in recorded history, right? And we also know that she is currently in the fourth dimension and moving her way into the fifth. Now, and what you manifested is on the earth plane with you, which means that your vibration, as long as you're here, as long as you're here and you're doing pretty well, you're in the fourth dimension with her. That's the only way that we can remain on the earth, is if we're vibrating within a span of frequency to stay with her. Okay. And so you're here, you're breathing. That means you're grounding your manifestation to the earth plane that you are in, which is the fourth dimension. And so this is now a new time, a new opportunity for you to use your gifts in this new creation in the fourth dimension, which means that we get to polish our gifts even brighter because we're using them in the fourth dimension. And we're learning how to hold that frequency as we're using our gifts. It's about soul growth, right? It's about soul growth. Hey, Rochelle Lottie's here. Hello, Rochelle. Good to have you in the chat. Cheryl said, card, please. Suffering and not healing blockage in Reiki treatment and vertigo since last Tuesday. Oh, please inspire me. I feel hopeless. Oh, Cheryl, we don't do individual card draws on this particular. It's not the intention for this broadcast. But I tell you what we can do. Okay, what we can do as a community here. We have several healers in this group. What we can do is we can send you prayers and healing energy. We do that for each other all the time. So if I could request that the healers in this live chat, in this moment, to please send Cheryl some healing energy and lots of love. And so that she may have her optimal health. There's a lot of love flowing in this group. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate your assistance with for Cheryl. And Cheryl's asking, do you know about black lymphatic? Very little, actually, Cheryl. What I can do, okay, we have a couple really good healers in Star Nations. And the one that pops into my mind is Polly Jo LeBay. And I will post her website here. Polly Jo is on the East Coast. She's in Massachusetts, but she does distance healings all the time. And she's an intuitive. She's a very gifted healer, right? And I will post her information here. And if you choose to contact her to see if she can assist you in your healing, that would be a way that we would be able to help you. She's very gifted. And actually, she has a weekly show. She actually has two of them. One on Tuesday at noon Eastern time, and that's called Chakra Sessions. And that's more of an educational show. She also does a healing meditation around the topic that she's bringing. But on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, okay, is specifically about healing. She does a guided meditation for healing. We go in with our individual intentions and with our individual spiritual teams, and her team and our team work together and for our intentions. And her team helps us to do the healing and releasing, whatever that is. Okay. And then she also does individual card draws in the last half hour of that time. And her that in that particular show goes from 7 p.m. Eastern to 8:30. I'm sorry, yeah, 8:30 p.m. So it's an hour and a half, an hour and a half. And so I would encourage you, if nothing else, is to listen to that broadcast as well. And I will also put her link, the Chakra Sessions fan page link in the comments as well. Okay, Cheryl? Okay. Oops, wow. Okay, you guys got to scroll up. All right. Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing with Cheryl about what this broadcast is about, this live stream. And she says, doing a group reading, hang on, and I'll get you the info for the reader at Star Nations that does health readings. Thank you. And that's Polly Joe, I hope. Yeah. And Judy says, hello. Hi, Judy. Hi, Judy. And thank you, Stephanie, for putting the link in there. And Stephanie, you're so very helpful. And Mervyn is saying, sending blessings and healing energy. Absolutely. Judy's doing the same. Elise is doing the same. So is Stephanie. And Elise is saying, Polly Joe is awesome and gives discounts to Star Nation listeners. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know that. That's good to know. Stephanie, you can also look for local massage therapists to do lymphatic drain massages. That is a great suggestion, Stephanie. A great suggestion. It's something that you can do locally, Cheryl. Yeah, and there's also acupuncture too, or acupressure, to help with the release. That's good. And Cheryl, thank you for being open and to the receiving and actually requesting assistance. There's no reason to try to go it on your own, right? There's loads of people who are more than willing to send prayers and healing energy. Yeah, you're all my family. We certainly are a Star family, that's for sure. That's for sure. Yay. Cheryl says, I've had it done. I'm having it done. It causes herx. In response, I was poisoned with metals. Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, if you can, contact Polly Joe. She has helped many people with heavy metals. So, yeah. If nothing else, have a conversation with her and see if that's something that you guys resonate with, right? And that you can help each other. So, yeah, that's good. All right. All right. So when we're using our gifts, and we're vibrating at a higher vibration, and our frequency is higher, we may have to take a look at our gifts and how we're using them, how well we're using them. Sometimes we have to learn a bit more to master them in this particular frequency, right? They're still going to work. Absolutely, they will work. But they could work better if we learn how to use them at a higher frequency. And sometimes it really is about us remembering how to hold that higher frequency for longer periods of time. And how do we do that? From our hearts, to be in our hearts as much as possible, right? Yeah. And so it's that mastery thing. No matter what we're working on, no matter what you manifested to create in your life, that shift or that change, we're all learning the same thing. We're all learning how to walk this earth walk in a higher frequency, to master our gifts in a higher vibration. Yeah. That be us. That's why we're walking with together. Elise says, going to have Polyjoy's help soon. Oh, that's good. That's great, Elise. Yeah, I love her too. I do. She's a good egg, they say, as they say. She's a good egg. All right, so the second card that came was the same card we had yesterday, right? And that's the Shield Maiden. Make plans and focus. Make plans and focus. So we were talking about having a strategy, a plan of sorts, to know how you're going to get from here to your goal in what you've created, right? And that Shield Maiden energy can help us to do that. And I do believe that because we got the same card the second day in a row with Shapeshifter this time, it really is about our gifts, and that our gifts really need to be front and center in whatever plan we put together in order to meet our intended goal. Okay, and if you remember right, the one of the energies of the Shield Maiden was being fiercely protective. Here we go. Shield Maiden. Kyle says that in this deck, the Shield Maiden brings a fiercely feminine energy, the power to be a warrior while retaining feminine sensitivity. In other words, nurturing, right? Loving. She's ready to put her plan into action. She's ready to go into battle. Her medicine helps us move beyond our unsettled feelings when our plans start to take shape and follow through with our strategies in order to be where we want to be. So in those moments when we have self-doubt, in those moments where we could be in denial, in those moments where we're looking more on the outside of ourselves for the answer rather than from the inside, the Shield Maiden can help us. We can call on her and ask her to please help us to focus, to stay focused, right? Help us discern. Yeah. So she's there to help us. And obviously, second day in a row, she has something to say. She also says that Shield Maidens worked together in times gone by to create shield walls of protection. So she also shows us how to work with others in order to bring our plans to fruition. Because those shield walls were pretty intricate, right? And they had to be strong, physical strength. Their shields that they held up in front of them literally held or pushed back their opponent. And so there was also physical strength involved. So maybe it also has to do with stamina, strength, to stay the course, right? All great warriors have a plan. You are a sensitive being, and if you're not prepared for the tasks you're taking on, you could end up feeling exposed and helpless. The ancestors' guidance that is coming to you now is a reminder that you have a warrior's heart and that you have it within you to be more prepared and focused than you have been recently. Well, that's true. And remember, we're using our gifts in a higher frequency, in a higher vibration. And so why not call on help? Why not ask our spiritual team, the Shield Maiden, to come and help us? You know, we know ourselves pretty well. And when we're honest with ourselves, we know when we're procrastinating, when we're dragging our feet and don't really, oh God, I got to do that. I got to do that. I got to do that. You know, and I have to make time to do that. and our dedication starts to slip, right? Yeah. And sometimes it's because we think it's harder than we thought it was going to be. And a lot of times that's our ego that's involved. That's our mental mind involved many times, most of the time. In a higher vibration, in that higher frequency, we're remembering how our heart and our head, our heart and our mind can be balanced. That the heart, our soul is leading, and that our ego or our mental mind is the servant of the soul, right? They're working together. But the ego or the mental mind is not leading the way. The heart is, the soul is. And so we have spent a part of our life, a good portion of our life, doing the opposite. Been trained that way for our ego to lead, our mind to lead, and the emotions were pushed away, pushed down, suppressed, ignored, right? And so we're remembering how to do this. It's nothing that we have to learn. The one thing that we have to learn is that we're remembering. It's a remembering. It's kind of like when you go into an initiation. And that first night that you're in that school or that first day, and they tell you to forget everything that you've learned, to forget it. Because now you're in a different energy field. You're in a different way of life. And so you just spent a good 30, 40 years honing this gift, honing your education, honing your career, and then they tell you, and forget everything you've learned. What does your mind do? How can that be? Hey, Cindy Lynn's here. Good afternoon, Cindy Lynn. Good to see you here. Yeah. Yeah. Cindy Lynn said, I had Polly Joe help before Hurricane Florence with some major personal stuff. Aw, well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you found that she was able to be helpful for you. She really is good. And she certainly comes from her heart, that's for sure. She's very gifted, meaning that she utilizes her gifts that she came in with. She uses them a lot. All right, so the Shield Maiden is that last card. And we can call on that energy of the Shield Maiden, the medicine of the Shield Maiden, to help us to stay focused, make plans and focus. We called in, right? We created this manifestation, this change into our lives. And now that it's grounded to the earth plane, you used your gifts to do that. And now we have to make the plan to get from here to there so that we reach the goal that you set out for yourself, your intention for this change, this manifestation. Yeah. And even though you don't feel like that manifestation is here right now with you, it could be that it's so subtle. It's so subtle that if you turn your senses to it, not your mental mind, but your senses, you could probably feel the shift or the change. Yeah. Let's try that once. How about that? In the last couple minutes here. What if we do that? Just to sense it, okay? So if you can for me, just put your feet flat on the floor, if you can. And so you want your back as straight as possible. Still comfortable, but straight. And take a really big deep breath in. Really fill up your lungs so that you feel your abdomen, your stomach kind of move out a little bit, okay? So big deep breath in and you're going to blow it out. Okay, big deep breath. Yeah, when you take breaths like that, do you ever notice how your muscles feel just seconds later? They start to relax a little bit. Getting some oxygen in, okay? We're going to do that one more time. Big, deep breath in, really filling up your lungs, feeling your abdomen go out a bit, okay? So here we go. Big, deep breath in. And then blowing it out. Good. And now just for a second, closing your eyes, just for a second. Is this turning your attention to, your focus to that change, that manifestation, that shift that you wished for, that you prayed about? Just sensing it. You don't have to do anything with it. It's just feel it. Feel it, hear it, see it. Just for a second. And when we do that, we're just acknowledging its presence, right? And if you want, you can even ask your spiritual team, how do I ground this to the earth plane for my life? Tell me how I can do that. Which gifts do I use to do that? And if you've already done that, thank them. And that's all you really have to do. You can feel it. You can sense it if it's there. Because it is. Okay? All right. So just opening your eyes and coming back to the present moment. Yeah, and that's just a check-in, right? That's just checking in. Hey, Christine, one of my sisters is in the house. That's just checking in with your spiritual team, with your higher self. Is just sensing the energy, focusing on that shift or that change that you brought into your life. And it could be in a subtle form right now, at the very beginning stages. Sometimes it's so subtle that if we don't turn our attention to it, we think it's not there when it is. Yeah. How was that for you guys? And for me, I could feel mine. Yeah. You know, and I'm still kind of sensing it right now. It's like, for me, because mine has everything to do with the changes coming up in Star Nations and the changes here at home, because we have George now, which shifted a lot of things in my house. Yeah, just feeling those changes and sensing what emotion do I feel with it, you know? And for me, it's excitement and it's love, because I love that little boy, that little puppy boy. Yeah. It just takes a moment, just a moment. Yeah. You know, and bringing yourself to that present moment and just sensing that creation that you did, that creation. Yeah. So, you know, like I say every day, is that whatever resonated with you with these two cards, because really it is about the creation that we did, the shape-shifting, transform and unveil your gifts, and the Shield Maiden. It's all about using our gifts in this new creation, this change that you manifested, and remembering. It's not learning, it's remembering how to hold the higher vibration, the frequency that you're in when you're using your gifts. Yeah, because what you manifested is in a new vibration. It's in a new frequency. And so it's all about soul growth, right? It's all about soul growth and remembering how to hold that higher vibration. We already know how to do it. Our soul already knows. It's just remembering. Our mental mind, our physical body remembering. Yeah. All right. So anything that you heard today that if it resonated with you, please embrace it. Hold on to it. See how the day unfolded and how you felt, what you sensed about that energy. Were you directly affected by it, a direct participant, or were you bearing witness for somebody? Because either way, it's good because we're learning something from it. And if it didn't resonate with you, that's okay too. That's no problem. No worries. It wasn't for you, just let it lie. And like I say, sometimes you're the messenger. Maybe you know somebody who would find the information valuable, or at least the conversation, that they like these kinds of conversations, and just share the link with them of the recorded show, right? Yeah. So with that, what's coming up at Star Nations? We're working on the November issue of the Star Nations magazine. We're at the very beginnings of it. We're doing just the beginning of the layout. All of the contributing writers have pretty much submitted their articles. I'm still waiting on 2, I think. I could be 3. And we do the prep work for that, getting the articles all prepped and the photos that go with them, get those prepped. And then the layout specialists will begin their magic and laying out those raw materials and into the framework to make them beautiful, is what I say. And so we're working on the November issue, still promoting the October issue. And we're getting ready for this coming week's live stream shows. So first up is on Tuesday noon is Polly Jo LeBay and Chakra Sessions. And let's see, do I still have hers up? I might have closed it. I did. I can't remember. I just did her promotions last night too. I don't remember the title. Anyway, her show is on at noon, and it's educational. It's about the chakras, and she also does a short guided meditation, healing meditation on that particular topic with your chakras. Okay. And then we do the live stream show, this one. It's not really a show. I haven't even named it yet. For the card draw, that's at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then my weekly show is on at 8 p.m., Communications from Home. And the last Tuesday of the month is always the Unity Breath Guided Meditation. And so we'll be doing that together on Tuesday night. It's all about love, all about holding a higher frequency. So if you want to come and do the meditation with me, it's another way to remember what it feels like to hold at higher vibration. And then Wednesday, Polly Jo's back with Soul Connections, and that is an hour and a half of healing and divine messages, is what she says. Okay, yeah, I think those are the shows for this coming week. It's an easier week than it was last week. We had a lot of shows last week. So with that, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And we'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, for the daily live stream. Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we meet again. I love you guys.